So I am going to do a brief presentation about what we're about. Now, I know some of you would have seen Dave's presentation before. I was expecting maybe more people who hadn't, but again, for the online. Oh, I didn't even have to say next slide, please, did I? Okay, so this is the border of our territory. This is the Wensum. And the question is, why are we doing this? And Pippa, you had the most gorgeous example when we were on the walk the other day of the bin cupboard.
Oh yes, the building that's built forward into the road.
So was it Magpie Road or Close?
Yeah, Magpie Road.
Magpie Road.
Full close.
Just at the beginning of it, as you come up from Charlton Road on the left, they've been given planning permission to build a bin cupboard. That road is mainly terrace houses with small gardens in front. They have allowed this bin cupboard to be built out to be at the level of the front of the gardens, rather than in line with the houses. And it's a hideous brick block with a flat roof and a fencing gate. And we could put in, if we wish, if people wish, things like, do not build out in front of the line of the houses on a street. So something simple like that would just not be allowed. And we can put in height limits, can we, or suggested height limits, Simeon?
We can, if we can provide evidence.
So the evidence is another thing. We have to do a lot of research, both in what people want and really feel about the area, because this is about what the people who live and work in the area want for their area. Okay? And the other thing is it has to be in line with, in other words, not contradicting and not repeating other planning documents for the city and various regulations and so forth. So there's a lot of background to do. There's the Broads Authority regulations because we border the river, and Natural England and Historic England, and all those other have bits of information we need to put in. So there will be a lot to look at, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but the idea is that we can actually put in place some things that will stop things we don't like happening. May have made life simple, but yes, Pippa.
May make things we would like happen.
Oh, may make things we would like happen. I think that's really important, yes. Okay, so what is a neighbourhood plan? It's about the use and the development of land and the associated social, economic and environmental issues. So this is not me saying this is kind of informal definitions. So it does include thought about how the land is used impacts the social environment. Green spaces and so forth, and retail for the economic. It's all part of it, but it's basically how use of land affects that. And according to Section 38 of the Planning and Compulsory Purchase Act 2004, the determination of planning applications at the middle of the sentence must be made in accordance with the development plan unless material considerations indicate otherwise. So the good thing is planning applications in our area would have to be made in accordance with our development plan once it was made and passed by referendum in the area. The downside is the unless material considerations, which has an awful lot of wriggle room, but we'll just have to bear with that. That's legal things for you, but it is a thing with power. Okay, just to keep life cheerful, that is Leo? No,
that's Emma.
That's Emma. Sorry, Leo is later. That's Emma, looking very profound. I thought you might like to meet other members of the committee or support troops for the members of the committee. She, you'll note, is wearing black, quite appropriate. Okay. So the forum, which is us, is the responsible body, not the administrative committee. We're there just to administrate, even if it doesn't. Okay, you have to ensure that a plan is created, that we actually get to the end of the work we're doing, and that we follow the statutory process, and I'll explain what that is. and make the key decisions. So coming here is really important, and thank you to those people who have come, because it is important. But you don't have to do all the work yourselves. It can be done by volunteers, and it doesn't have to be people who are members. God bless you, Clifford, who is really, in a sense, a volunteer and supporter, because not living in the area, though close by. And we will get professional help. We get grants. So one of the things we do is to have to apply for grants in order to be able to get professional help to write a plan, because it's a very complicated thing. We can go out and find what people want. We can look at all the other plans and draw up what things we will and won't be able to do, but the actual writing of it will need help. And you're going, I'm going on far too long, never mind. So it's really key that members are involved, even in small things. So we're all, those of us who are involved, some are doing outreach, some are doing evidence and looking at paperwork, and Pippa's currently doing finance. Okay, this is my cat Pebbles working really hard. The forum, she is 16, dear. The forum has a 5-year life plan, and therefore we must have completed all our work and have the plan approved by referendum by the 5th of April 2027. We are on the timeline. That's just an FYI, you see. So what's the stage one? The first stage is choose a neighbourhood area. That had been done for us by the council anyway, and become a designated neighbourhood forum. We've done that bit.
Yay!
Yay! And we're the first in Norwich. Okay. Develop groundwork understanding on what your plan can be built. And that's the two bits I've been talking about, community and stakeholder engagement. So stakeholders at bigger organisations that might have a stake in what goes on, and I think that would include things like Historic England and possibly
the university.
The university, NUA, possibly the schools, bigger organisations. This is a great area for members to be involved because it's going out and talking to people and finding things. We've begun this with our 3 questions, which you may have seen, what do you like, what don't you like, and what would you like to change about the area. But this has to be ongoing throughout. And each stage we get to, we need to ask people, do you think where we're going is the right way? And what it has done is we've managed to think through all the answers we have, found what is important to people, and therefore make plan headings, which is what Simeon and Pippa are going to present. And then there's this building an evidence, so understand the context. And if you're somebody who likes paperwork and looking at things and organising ideas and understanding ideas, this is for you. Okay. Right. So the early engagement, that was the 3 questions, and also walkabouts. We started doing walkabouts around the edge, and we will over time be doing walkabouts in other areas to look at what's there, which is why, I found out from Pippa about the square brick blocks. We don't all know every little bit, okay? And then we will start thinking about more detailed things, specific sites, housing needs, retail. That's also part of the evidence. We need to know the demographics and things. And then we will consult on the draft plan before the formal consultation. Oh, that, by the way, is a new member who joined us when we did one of the walkabouts. I'm afraid I don't know their name. But you can see they are studying our leaflets very carefully. Right, this is Emma again. Okay, so the sort of evidence we need to do, we need to know the demographics, who the local population are. It's an interesting area. The top half of the area is in the 10% most deprived of the country. The bottom half, or the half nearer the city and along the river, of course, is in the 40%. But about local employment and industries, there is some industry in that area. But a lot of it is retail or entertainment. And what infrastructure we have, how it's designed, currently how the land use and planning, so there was a plan previously which I've put down somewhere, the Norfolk. I don't know where to go. So this was the previous plan for the area, the Northern City Centre Area Action Plan. That has expired in 2017, so 2016. And so we know what the previous design was. What housing is there? What housing need is there? What's the transport links? What's the history? Very important, obviously. Some areas probably don't have a lot of history. We do. And the natural environment. We have the river all along the edge. So that's something that's very key for us as well. Might not be for other people. Okay, and then stages 2, that's sort of what we're doing at the moment. And stage 2, set aims and create headings. Oh, sorry, that's Leo, obviously. And we've done the proposed headings and we're going to consider it. And then, it's lovely, in all the things it said, well, now write the policy. And that's going to be huge, and that's where we will need help. But I think what this whole thing is saying, if you don't know what you want to go in the policy before you start writing, you won't get anywhere. So we have to have a clear idea what the people want and what the evidence will allow us to do and is appropriate. And then you have to jump through some regulatory hoops, which is where the fora absolutely has to come. We get support from a thing called locality and neighbourhoodplanning.org. Okay. So, this one's back. The regulatory hoops, these are the key decision centres. So the first thing is an informal agreement of a screening version. So you know this isn't the plan as written. And then you send it to the local authority for screening. And then when they send it back, they may say make some emendations. And then we've done those, we would approve a final draft, and we have to consult with the people who live and work in the area for at least 6 weeks, and we have to consult with statutory bodies. That's our requirement under Regulation 14, and then again, it may need a bit of amending, and then approve a submission version and supporting statements, because there'll be a plan and there'll be a lot of documents about this is why we put this in the plan, and submit to the local authority. And then the local authority, that's, I've forgotten, Shut. That's Shut. We thought the one dog should be the local authority. It's different. Okay, so it's a different group of people doing this bit. We'll have to, they'll appoint an independent examiner to look at it, make sure it's actually valid and right and written properly and agrees with everything, and is compliant with national policy and human rights regulations and sustainable development and all these other things. And then the council arrange a referendum amongst people of the area, plus they can go into the area just beyond as well, and I suspect they might well do so, but that's not within our control. Okay, and so those are the steps. So that is Sir Toby. Sorry, it was Princess Pebbles, but she wasn't looking very princessy. That's Sir Toby, her brother, also working hard. That's the map of our area. Any questions?
And there's a bigger map down here.
There's a bigger map down here with little dots for where. What are the little dots for?
Places they like, places they don't like, places they live.
Yeah.
All sorts of things.
Any questions for that? Does that make sense of what we're doing?
Yes.
Yes.
It's very comprehensive.
Yeah. It's taken me a long while to work it out myself, I must admit. I listened to Dave's talk twice and I was just beginning to get, because it's not something we're familiar with if we're not in the architecture, planning, development field.